Yo, what's going on, guys? We're back with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the shield dog known as Zamazenta. So if there was any doubt or if there was any question whether there would be a niche or usage for Zamazenta, I have found it. I have once again found the sauce for a restricted that not many would consider viable. All right, so I've done something like this, with like Zygarde and stuff, or even Reshiram. The Reshiram is actually really good, but Zamazenta, people will always say just use Zacian, and while that is very much true, that doesn't mean that you can't use Zamazenta. Now, in my opinion, and I think many would agree that Zamazenta is really good in a dual restricted format, okay, but in a single restricted format, not so much. But does it mean that you can't make it viable? No, I have a way where you can make Zamazenta viable. So, all right, I mean, you've got the steel typing, so you're okay into Xerneas. You're not too bad into Calyrex Ice Rider. Okay, so all you really need to do is just cover for things like Kyogre, Calyrex Shadow, Xerneas a little bit more. And of course the older brother Zacian, right? So we can do that. Now again, the thing with Zamazenta is you got very impressive bulk, especially after a Dauntless Shield. Your damage is actually still not too bad, okay? I mean, base 130 is still pretty good, okay? I have to say. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a team that checks everything else, or as best as possible, and then give Zamazenta ways where we can have speed control and buff up its damage. All right, so we've got a steel type. So what I'm thinking here is, again, we're going with the Clover #2 special besides Celesteela. We're going with Grimmsnarl here, all right, with our fairy typing, because you already know what I'm gonna try and do. I'm gonna focus on cores. We're gonna go Dragon, Fairy, Steel, Fire, Water, Grass. Now, what dragon are we going to partner this with? So what I think has been slept on this meta, and you can disagree with me if you want, but what I think should be explored a little bit more is this Pokemon right here, Salamence. Yeah, okay, Salamence. All right, so why Salamence? Well, the thing is, Salamence has Intimidate, okay, and just like Landorus, of course, you are 4 times weak to Ice, but Salamence, with that Dragon typing, actually fits right in with what we're gonna do with this squad. So Salamence here, the goal here is we're gonna make it bulky. All right, we're gonna make it take certain attacks very, very well and Intimidate spam to death, so that way we can focus on staying bulky with damage mitigation and dealing damage behind our screens. Okay, that's the way we're gonna do it, as long as we have a Grimmsnarl on our team. So we've got our dragon typing, we've got our fairy, we've got our steel with Zamazenta. Okay, how are we gonna do the rest of the team? So we need something for older brother Zacian, right? I got you. We've got the master, we've got Entei, right? Incine's great, but we've already got Salamence for Intimidate. So let's go with a fire typing, and the reason why Salamence fits here is because Entei, Zamazenta, weak to ground. All right, Landorus, Earth Power is not going to be great, so pivot into Salamence here, and we're in business. Okay, so there's our fire typing here. Great against Calyrex Ice Rider as well, and there is a way where we can buff Entei's damage, where it just becomes an unstoppable force behind screen support. Okay, now we need some speed control. Well, how about Suicune? Suicune has risen as one of the favorable water types for a while now in Series 10. Okay, because it's super bulky, it's got speed control with Tailwind, you've got that Ice Beam option against Lando I, you've got Snarl, which after Tailwind goes first, so that way you can punish Calyrex Shadow Rider. You got Scald against Incineroar. And it's just overall a very, very good, solid, bulky water type in Series 10. Okay, so we've got that, and our grass typing. I mean, we're gonna go with All Reliable here. We're gonna go with Rillaboom here. So this is the 6. Okay, all right. Steel, Fairy, Dragon, Fire, Water, Grass. Okay. Now, how are we going to decide our items, moveset, and EV spread. All right, so now let's position ourselves where we're gonna have to think a little bit here. So let's go. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go with a pretty cool moves on Zamazenta. So of course we're gonna go Behemoth Bash. All right, and we are gonna go close combat. Now here's the move that makes it all happen. All right, it's Howl. All right, because the idea with Howl is you're gonna raise Zamazenta's attack and your partner's attack by +1. And now you see where I'm going with this madness. Okay, if you have Howl, okay. If you Howl your Salamence, or if you Howl your Entei, or if you Howl your Rillaboom, you are going to be doing huge damage, and you're going to be sitting behind screens, so this way you get to stay on the field with that Howl bonus and just absolutely punish the opponent, okay? So that is the strat here, alright? Howl Zamazenta, and we're going to go with Protect. Can you go Wide Guard? Sure, alright, but I like Protect, okay? Grimmsnarl, relatively standard Grimmsnarl set that we've always used. So of course, dual screens, all right, and then Fairy Stab and Sucker Punch priority. All right, can you imagine a +1 Sucker Punch? Oh my God! All right, now Salamence. There's a couple options that you can do here, and I'm gonna show you 2 different EV spreads on how to use this team. All right, but the one that we're gonna use on this version, we're gonna go Rocky Helmet. Alright, yep, Rocky Helmet. Look, if you see Rocky Helmet Lando, I mean, there's no reason why you can't see Rocky Helmet Salamence, right? So, we're gonna go with Dual Wing Beat, Flying Stab, Breaking Swipe, more damage mitigation, especially after Intimidate. This is really good against stuff like Groudon, Calyrex Ice Rider, you know, Rillabooms, Tsareenas, Urshifus, okay? Very, very good Salamences. And then over here, how about another speed control move in Rock Tomb? Also very good against like Volcarona. So I really like Rock Tomb. I was trying this out quite a bit on Showdown on a couple of battles, and it came in through the clutch, right? Because this is what lets your Entei and Zamazenta outspeed certain things, and then you just go for the kill. So I really like Rock Tomb here, and let's just go with Protect as our last move. So that's a cool set right there. Entei, so Entei is like the almost like the main star of this team, okay? This is more like build around Entei rather than like build around Zamazenta. So Zamazenta is gonna go for Howl, so we're gonna maximize Entei's damage output, alright? So we're gonna go with Life Orb here. If you've been a long time follower of the channel, I did this in Series 8 actually. I did Zamazenta Howl with Entei in the Series 8 Dynamax format. So let's bring it back for Series 10 with what we got left with this last month, and now let's do this. So Sacred Fire, alright, Extreme Speed. Can you imagine +1 Life Orb Extreme Speed? Oh my God, that's busted. What? Okay, and then Crunch for Calyrex and Indeedee that are very annoying. So, and then of course our last move is going to be Protect because we are a Life Orb set. Suicune, standard set here. So you can go a couple options. You can go Safety Goggles here. That's pretty good against stuff like Amoonguss. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna go with Citrus Berry at the moment. Okay, but again, if you like Safety Goggles, feel free to do that. Standard set here: Tailwind, Scald, Ice Beam, and Snarl. Okay, I like that standard Suicune set. Again, if you want Safety Goggles and then just to put Roar in this last slot, hey, that's all for it, right? So let's just do this. All right, because yeah, I can see Amoonguss being annoying, but we have ways around it. Rillaboom, again, the goated Rillaboom in this format is Assault Vest. So now you're a bulky Rillaboom with a +1 Howl bonus. Oh my, all right, +1 Grassy Glides. Hello, all right, Fake Out, Grassy Glide, U-turn, and instead of knockoff, you know, here's the thing. Look, we've got a Dark type in Grimmsnarl. We've got Entei for Crunch. Okay, we've got Snarl. I'm gonna go with another speed control move here. Let's go with Drum Beating. Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, you've got Tailwind, you've got Rock Tomb. Now you add drum beating and you've got nice options for speed control, right? Because sometimes in a certain matchup, you're just not going to be bringing all of your speed control mons. Maybe you just bring one, okay? But we want to be flexible in our speed control options and what we want to bring, right? So we've got our drum beating on a Rillaboom. Again, so this is it. So now let's just try and EV these mons. So this way we can do a few calcs and show you some stuff to be aware of. Okay, so we're gonna start with a few of the mons that we've used before that is not really gonna change. Okay, so we're gonna go with our Adamant Rillaboom spread. Again, 192 HP is what we want to optimize the grassy terrain recovery. So this way we get 12 HP per turn. We'll go to the third bump with 196 attack. All right, a little bit of defense. Now normally I'm going 116 speed. All right, but I'm starting to see a couple Rillabooms either speed tie with me or be faster. So we're just gonna go 117, right? Because you guys are plebs. So 117 Rillaboom speed. Suicune also is not gonna change. We're gonna go Calm here. Where is it? All right, second bump here. Again, the whole point of this Suicune is we're trying to live the Regieleki Thunderbolt. As well as the Adamant 252 Grassy Glide from a Rillaboom. Alright, so very standard set here. I believe this is 92, and then from here 228. Yep, so this is our Suicune spread. And now the Grimmsnarl spread, again, something that we've used before. Alright, so we're going to go with this nature. I always forget this nature. I think it's this. Yep, so we're gonna go 85 speed. All right, go to 116 here, 140 over here. Okay, and then this much attack and the rest in our HP stat. So this is a very standard Grimmsnarl set. So after Tailwind, you outspeed base 100s, but also Landorus, right? So that's important because if you're faster than Landorus, you can get off a Spirit Break and give it a -1. Which will help, right? -1 Earth powers are not going to kill Zamazenta and Entei, especially behind the screen, so that's pretty good. So those are the ones that we've used before. Now let's take a look at Zamazenta over here. So, couple things to note with Zamazenta. First of all, we need the damage, right? So we're going to go Adamant here. And the main thing with Zamazenta is we're just going to try and outspeed certain threats. So the first one I'm thinking about is Mienshao, right? So we're just gonna try and outspeed that thing, and this is what it is, 172. So this will at least let us KO it, or at least let us go first. And then from here, I'm just gonna go second bump in our attack stat. Again, we're buffing ourselves with Howl, right? So second bump is still fine. And then from here, the rest are in bulk. Now, I know that my HP stat is not optimized for Rillaboom grassy terrain, alright? I know that's what you're going to say when you attack me in the comments, but I think this is still fine, alright? So it's very rarely that I don't optimize for grassy terrain, but I think this is still okay, alright? So, from here, now we want to try and look at the Entei. So, we're going to go Adamant Entei here, and we're gonna go so 149 is pretty good after a Rock Tomb or a Drum Beating to outspeed Calyrex Shadow Rider, but let's just try and outspeed those speed creepers and just go one more above, so base 150, not base 150, but 150 speed. And then from here, we'll just go the third bump in the attack stat at 196, okay? So, and then from here, let's just optimize the Life Orb recoil, which is 68 investment to put it at 199, because 199 divided by 10 is 19.9. Pokemon rounds down, so you only take 19 damage per turn from Life Orb chip. And then from here, it very nicely gives us 8 points where we can split it into defense and Spadef. Alright, and this is our Entei spread, and I'll show you again all the damage calcs in a bit. But now, finally, Salamence. Okay, so here's the thing with Salamence. It's weak to ice, right? So what are the big ice users? Kyogre Ice Beam is one, but we're gonna have to bite the bullet in that one and say we're not going to try and live that. But what we can do is live other things like a Tsareena triple Axel. Okay, so in order to do that, we should be able to outspeed that thing and drop it to -1s, whether it's Intimidate or a Breaking Swipe. So Adamant is where we're gonna go, and I like to do this with my Urshifu. 123 speed is very safe when you're considering going against Tsareena, because they like to just go, you know, either 112, 113, 114 after Tailwind, so this way they're faster than Calyrex Shadow Rider speed creepers, but very rarely will they go to like even close to 120. So I feel like 123 is safe. And then from here, we're just gonna build it similar to like how Lando's built with Rocky Helmet, to live like Zacian, Behemoth Blades, and just punish, you know, stuff like Urshifu with Rocky Helmet chip damage. This is gonna wall Rillabooms, this is gonna wall Incineroars. So Salamence is like really good on this team, and then if you can buff its damage with Howl, Salamence can put in some work here. Alright, so let's just make it super bulky here. So this is a spread that I've done here. Actually, this is not Adamant. That's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. It's Impish. That's what I meant. This is what's gonna help us live those hits. So Impish here is what we're looking for. All right, and then from here again, I like the remaining points in just our attack stat and speed def. Okay, and I'll show you the damage calcs now. So again, we've got our squad, we've got the EVs. Now let's take a look at some damage calcs, and then I'll show you a second variation of a team that I gave to my friend Luke. Some of you may remember Luke VGC. We featured his Xerneas team on the channel. I gave it to him to use in a Showdown tour, and he got second place with it. So I know the team works, okay? So, but first, let's take a look at some damage calcs with some of these mons. Okay, so let's look at Salamence first. So again, we have a super bulky Salamence with a Rocky Helmet chip, and you can see that triple Axel one-shots us, right? But again, you're forgetting we have ways to mitigate this damage and then just straight up OHKO it right back. So this is a typical Tsareena set here. It's max HP usually, and most of them go to the first EV bump in attack, right? So the common Tsareena can kill Salamence with triple Axel, but what if we intimidate it with -1, right? First of all, you're not killing anymore if you go for triple Axel, and even if you hit all three, you're getting chipped so much with Rocky Helmet that a dual wing beat just straight up finishes you off. All right, and then if dual wing beat kills you, Rillaboom kills the Kyogre, right? So that's the main thing there. And if you had Reflect, again, that's still not killing you here. So you might even just take a 3-shot here. But anyway, yeah. So like Reflect and Intimidate, it really stops Tsareena cold here. Now let's look at Zacian here. So if we go to Zacian Crown here, I'm just gonna go 50. First, let's look at the Jolly Zacian, the common pleb Zacian. All right, 252, 252. Right, this is the common Zacian. And then we go Behemoth Blade. All right, so Behemoth Blade, first of all, does that much. Okay, this is Jolly Zacian, right? -1 from an Intimidate. All right, we're already like mitigating so much of it. Then Reflect, if we have Reflect, that's a 3-hit KO. What is this Zacian doing? And then I can just spam this thing with Rock Tombs and then just have my Entei or Zamazenta clean it up. So this Salamence is really, really good. Okay, again, even if we don't have the Reflect, an Intimidate on a Jolly Zacian is punishing. All right, so now let's look at the Adamant Zacian. Okay, Adamant Zacian. Let's say their max attack. All right, let's say they're max 252, 252. I don't know any Zacian that's like this. Okay, if you are a 252 Adamant Zacian, comment below. I need to know who the heck you are and why you did that. All right, but even then, Adamant Behemoth Blade Zacian, all right, still does not OHKO this Salamence. Okay, now you put this at -1 from an Intimidate. Okay, now it looks like this, and then you put it behind Reflect. Okay, look at this. This is like a 3-hit KO here. So Adamant Zacian looking not so great against our Salamence. So I mean, you know, it's good because again we can spam Rock Tombs and then just let our Entei clean up. All right. So now let me show you our Entei spread. Right. So let's go to our Entei here. All right. This is the one that others want to see. All right. This is let's do the Life Orb one. Let's do the Life Orb Entei. Let's import it. Okay. Does this matter? Intrepid Sword. I think it just gets it automatically, right? Yeah, that doesn't matter. All right, so Entei with our Life Orb. Okay, right here. Entei Life Orb. All right, so let's say it's a Adamant 76 252 Zacian, because a lot of them now are being full HP bulk, right? So first of all, Behemoth Blade's not going to kill you, obviously. And Sacred Fire Life Orb almost one-shots you, okay, as it is. And that's if you are max HP, which not all Zacians are. So if you're not max HP, you're dead, okay? And if I have a Howl boost, that's overkill. That is straight up overkill. Unbelievable. Adamant Zacian. Alright, goodbye. What about Calyrex Ice Rider? Again, I'll remove my Howl buff. Calyrex Ice Rider. Alright, we'll go with my set. Alright. So let's just say you have 4 defense, right? 252 4. So Sacred Fire, pretty good. Alright. Now if I have my Howl boost, alright, you're dead. You die. I mean, that's it. The game is over. I click Sacred Fire, goodbye. Alright, so this Entei is really strong. I like it a lot. And again, you're hiding behind screens sometimes. You're just spamming Howl. I really like this Entei. So I think it's really nice. And again, what about like Zamazenta here? What about Zamazenta itself? What about Zam itself? So let's import this. Zamazenta himself. Okay. Alright. So Behemoth Bash does quite a bit, right? I mean, if we have now this is just like, you know, a certain scenario, but Behemoth Bash with +1 Howl, that's pretty good. I mean, that's not a favorable roll, but that's pretty good damage, I have to say, for a Zamazenta. And what is Calyrex gonna do? I mean, it can't really do anything to it. I mean, if it close combats, I mean, that's fine. That doesn't kill. We just kill you right back with a Behemoth Bash. What about against like a Zacian? Like again, the 252 Zacian. Let's even say that they're full bulk with that much attack investment. I mean, like let's say it's close combat, right? Let's for the sake of argument say it's close combat. So close combat, that doesn't kill. I mean, our close combat almost kills. So, you know, if it ever comes down to like speed stuff, you know, if your defense is -1, all right, and then I go next, all right, you're dead. I mean, so I mean, Zacian can't beat Zam one-on-one, especially if we got Salamence in the back and if we got screens up. So I like my matchup against a Zacian. So I do like Zamazenta here. I mean, this is like a really nice squad that can make use of Zamazenta with Howl, Behemoth Bash, close combats. What about like Incineroar? What about an Incineroar? So, yeah, I mean, just I went with a Howl here. So close combat has a chance to OHKO, and this is if they're impish. If they're not impish, they're dead. Okay, if they're careful nature. But again, if we have the Howl bonus, it dies. But even if it doesn't have the Howl bonus, I mean, Incin doesn't really have too much left. You might activate its berry, but even then, there's no reason why the rest of your team can't just clean it up here. But you have your Salamence, right? So again, very good matchups here. What about something like, what else do I have here? No, I think that's actually what those are the main calcs. All right, so now let's just show it to you in some battles here. I actually have a change up here. Since I gave it to Luke to use, Okay, I'm gonna show you the version that he used to get second place in that Showdown tour, and I'll show you 2 sample battles from that. Alright, so let's take a look at the second version of the team. Okay, so the version that I gave Luke actually focused on, instead of making the Entei super strong, we made the Salamence super strong. So the Life Orb Salamence was the version that I was rocking. So if we just optimize the Salamence here, it's going to be something like this, where we went, I believe it was a Jolly spread. I want to say, yeah, I believe it was a Jolly spread, and then we did something like this. Alright, and then from here, it was Dueling Meat, Breaking Swipe, Rock Tomb, but I actually went with Fire Fang just so that I can hit an opposing Zacian and didn't always rely on Entei. And then from here, the Entei was actually Assault Vest, okay? And then I had Stomping Tantrum as my move, but I would rather change this now to Stone Edge, okay? So this was the other one. And then the EVs here, kind of like what I did before with my Entei spreads. Again, after Tailwind, this will outspeed Regieleki. We're going to go 196 yet again. And then we're going to go 208 to optimize Grassy Terrain Recovery. And then some defense and Spadef leftover. This was our Entei spread, okay? And then our Rillaboom, because we have no Assault Vest, we went with Miracle Seed, which will make us hit hard with our grass moves. And I pretty much kept the same spread here. So this was the version that I gave Luke, okay? So again, this is the one that Luke used for that Showdown tour, and this is something that I still like, but I kind of like this version better, just so that my Salamence is a little bit more supportive, and it's actually Entei that takes control of the damage. And Assault Vest Rillaboom is really good in Series 10. Alright, not saying that Miracle Seed is bad, it's still very good, but I think the Assault Vest behind screens and with Howl bonuses is actually maybe a little bit better. Alright, so now let's show some sample battles from both me and Luke. Alright, so take a look at this. Joe UX9 against Luke. Alright, this is one of the battles that Luke sent me. So again, this is the Life Orb Salamence. So it looks like Joe's running Lunala, right? And Luke calls himself Chansey Joy at 420. Alright, so let's see how Luke decides to play this. Joe goes with the Thunderous Lunala. We're going with Entei and Grimmsnarl. So a very good lead here. So Protect comes out. Then we get up our light screen. We go with Sacred Fire. We do get a burn, which is very nice. Volt Switch from the Thunderous into our Araquanid. So right now, it's okay, because then now we can just pivot into our Rillaboom. And Joe will go for a move, but we do get a Sucker Punch to break that Shadow Shield. There's the Meteor Beam. He actually misses. That was huge. There's the Liquidation. Does big damage. Defense Drop comes into the Grimmsnarl. Alright. Goes into Incin. Intimidates the Rillaboom here. Lunala protects. Will go Grassy Glide into the Incin. Not going to do much. Of course, the Intimidate. Sucker Punch not going to work because of the Protect. Alright. So now we'll go into our Entei on the Grimmsnarl. Incin goes to the Fake Out. There's the Moongeist Beam. Entei lives. Alright. And we now U-turn. Again, Entei is Assault Vest. Here comes our Zom. Alright. Now what we can do behind our light screen is, again, take advantage of this bulk. Lunala goes for the Protect. But now here's the close combat into the Incin. This is why I changed the EV spread. I really wanted to give Zom a little bit more attack, which is what I did. So at this point, this Zom had like 140 attacks. So I gave it to 156. Alright, so here's the Araquanid. And now here comes the Howl Tech. Now we go for the Crunch. Goodbye. There goes the Lunala, and down goes the Entei. But I'll trade the Restricted for an Entei, right? So here's Rillaboom. There's the Incin. Again, still in a pretty good spot because we can just Howl again. Alright, and there's a Thunderous. Fake Out comes out, and another Howl. So there goes the Intimidate. And now Luke makes the play of the game here because we know the Incin is going to come in, so you might as well just close combat that slot no matter what. And there it is. No more Intimidate spam from the Incineroar. Alright, and now our Rillaboom can reset that attack debuff. So the Araquanid will go for the Leech Life and kill the Grimmsnarl, but that's okay because we have a Rillaboom here. to finish off the Araquanid potentially. So fake out into the Araquanid, and we'll Behemoth Bash again. Not quite killing the Thundurus here. Sludge Bomb from the Thundurus. That's a nice tech move, Joe. But again, we have still a good shot at here, and there's the Behemoth Bash, and there's the Drum Beating. Almost kills the Araquanid. Now the Rillaboom drops, but Zam should be able to pull it out here with yet another Behemoth Bash, but it still lives. This is why I added more attack. There's the Liquidation, but still not enough. Alright, so we'll go. Luke will finish it off here with one more Behemoth Bash. But yeah, nice battle here. So you saw the Howl tech. It does work. Alright, let's take a look at another one. Alright, so this is a Tornogre matchup with a Talonflame instead of a Tornadus. So let's see how Luke plays this one. It is going to be Talonflame and the Tsareena to lead. So Suicune and Rillaboom is Luke's lead. So not bad here. Again, there is a Talonflame and a Tsareena. Not great for Rillaboom here. So I expect a switch. And Suicune can just very calmly go for a Tailwind here. The Tsareena, even with the Power Whip, won't be able to KO. So this is still fine. So here comes the Salamence instead to drop the attacks, which is actually very, very smart. So Dual Wing Beak not going to do nearly enough damage to the Rillaboom. And there's a big U-turn. And now we go into Suicune again. And Triple Axel won't kill the Rillaboom because we switched into the Suicune. So Luke is now in a much better position than he was the previous turn because both these things are -1. And now he can go for a Tailwind if he wants. So there's the Talonflame Tailwind. There's a U-turn. And here comes the Kyogre. That's not what you want to see, but again, dual wing beat from the Salamence. Big damage with the Life Orb. Okay, and there's the Tailwind from the Suicune to give more speed control on our end. He goes for a feint for some reason. Dragon Claw, not enough to pick up the Ogre, and that's not great because there's the Ice Beam, but still okay because the Talonflame goes down. We'll take a crit. Alright. And now, what does he have left? He does have the Tsareena. That's still okay. We have the Zamazenta with our defense buff. Urshifu comes out. There's the Grassy Glide. Not going to do enough to the Suicune. We're going to get our Berry proc. And there's another Behemoth Bash. Once again, this is why after Luke played, I gave the Zamazenta a little bit more attack EVs. But still. Anyway, here's the Scald. No burn here. But still, great chip is great chip. We're going to switch back into the Rillaboom here, and there's another Grassy Glide just to tank that, and there's the Wicked Blow, still fine, and we finally killed the Urshifu. So now it's just the Kyogre and the Tsareena against a Zamazenta and a Suicune. So this is very much favorable here because now you can just kill the Kyogre with a Behemoth Bash, and Ice Beam doesn't kill, but that's still fine. I mean, he gets the freeze, but that wouldn't have mattered, so well done by Luke. Well done by Luke. Alright, so now we're going to take a brief look at some of my own sample battles with the team. So this is a Calyrex Oranguru squad. I'm not sure what the Circuitry is supposed to do, but yeah. I feel like Entei and Zamazenta is always good here because the Entei just puts so much pressure on really his entire team. Because again, Howl plus a dark move or a fire move just pretty much smashes this, and there's not really much you can do here, especially when there's no real redirection here. So we play it out. So there's the Indeedee, there's the Calyrex. I mean, that's fine. So I was trying to test this out. So at this point, the Entei is AV. So my goal here is just to Howl and see how much damage Sacred Fire can do, right? So I decided to go for the Howl. Actually, he goes for the After You Glacial Lens. Okay, sure. I mean, Howl and then Sacred Fire does big damage, and we just burn it. So that's pretty much game. I mean, he'll try for the After You Glacial Lens again, but that's not gonna do anything. So we just take out the Calyrex, and now we go for a +1 crunch, and there it is. Okay, and now he just has an Oranguru and Marowak. So again, the name of the game is to kill the Oranguru, and there's not much you can do about it. That thing was citrus. I don't like that item on that. He gets rid of the Zamazenta, but unfortunately it's a 3-on-1 at this point, and so he just quits. Alright, in this one, so another Oranguru squad, again with Calyrex, but This time he does have the Indeedee redirection, but again, I still lead the same thing. Entei Zamazenta with Rillaboom in the back, and also my Salamence. Salamence is pretty good here as well, but my opponent did not play this very well. So again, here we go again. Oranguru and the Calyrex. So this is most likely, you know, Trick Room on the Oranguru and probably protect on the Calyrex. So I just double target the Oranguru here and just try and take it out here, because I don't want Trick Room up. So yeah, see, there's the protect, and then we just bash and then just crunch it, and there it is. And he just pretty much forfeits. I mean, what did he expect was I gonna do? Did he really think I was gonna target the Calyrex? That's not the threat. The threat is the Trick Room, not the Calyrex. Alright, so this one's a little more interesting. This is a Giratina team. Kinda cool. Dragon, Fairy, Steel, Fire, Water, Grass. My plan here is to just remove his speed control, and then I just win, right? So he gets the Rillaboom and the Whimsicott. So my plan is to not let him get Trick Room up. I'm sorry, Tailwind up. He could protect, but I still feel like I go for the fake out Sacred Fire anyway. I understand he has Tsareena in back, but again, does Tsareena really want to take a Sacred Fire? So again, so here we go. We go for the fake out, but he does swap into Tsareena. Very interesting. So that's going to take a Sacred Fire. Fakes out the Entei. Not sure why, but Tsareena almost dies. So I feel like we just pressure it again. He can't really protect, and we'll just U-turn here. And I go for the Zamazenta play. Yes, I understand it's also weak to Flare Blitz, but yeah, the idea is if the Whimsicott comes in here, and if I swap into my Salamence, right? If I did Salamence, yes, I take the Flare Blitz, but then my Salamence is in the face of a Whimsicott, and I don't want to take a Moonblast, right? So even if I take the Flare Blitz on the Incineroar, it's okay because I know Zamazenta can take it, and at this point, I could always swap in my Salamence on the Giratina should he go into that, right? So there's the big chit on the Incineroar, and he does go with the Whimsicott, so this is still better right now. So there's the Tailwind. We go for the CC on the Incin, we get rid of that, so that's good. Alright, and we just go for the Sacred Fire, but we do miss on the Whimsicott, so unfortunate there. There's the Giratina. Okay, so now we'll swap out into Salamence. This is fine. And he goes for the beat up here to proc the weakness policy, I guess. Alright, I mean, that still doesn't change the fact that I go for the Sacred Fire here into the Whimsicott. Goes to the Shadow Force. That was an interesting move. Now we'll go into Zamazenta to take such a Shadow Force, and then we just E-speed the Whimsicott and kill it. And Zamazenta takes it, and now we just swap back into Salamence, and there goes his weakness policy buffs. Now they're all gone. And he goes to Shadow Force, and now there's not really much you can do because both of these can take out the Giratina. So, yeah, relatively solid couple games from Luke and I. So now let's go back to the Pokepastes, and let's showcase both versions one more time. Alright, so again, here are the Pokepastes for the Zamazenta squads that we were doing. Again, this is the one that I loaned to Luke, with the Life Orb Salamence and the AV Entei and the Rillaboom Miracle Seed. And it was pretty good. He got second in that tour with it, but after talking it over with Luke a little bit, there was like a matchup with Ho-Oh where he really didn't know what to do really, because he had some trouble there, believe it or not. I mean, so yes, you can Intimidate with the Salamence, and yes, you do have the Stone Edge on the Entei, but we need a little bit more in terms of trying to get more control. So that's why we went also with this. So I switched things up a bit. I decided to make the Salamence bulky, alright, and go with the Rock Tomb set. Rocky Helmet set with a Rock Tomb, more speed control. Make Entei the sole focus with Life Orb and Protect. Okay, and then Rillaboom retains its best item in Series 10, which is the Assault Vest, right? And then overall, it's just a really solid squad, right? You got Tailwind, Speed Control, Rock Tomb, and Drum Beating. You got your Dark coverage for Calyrex. You have answers against Zacian with Entei, and even the Salamence for Intimidate support. Zamazenta can always 1v1 the Zacian eventually. And then you have your Kyogre matchup with Suicune and Rillaboom. Xerneas Zamazenta is pretty good. So is the Entei and Suicune ideally, right? Along with Grimmsnarl support. So you've got options, you've got tools. If there was a squad to try and use Zamazenta, I feel like this is it. All right, you can't say it's not solid. All right, is Zacian better? Yeah, of course. But I'm telling you, use Zamazenta or make a team to use Zamazenta. This is it. This is how I would do it. All right, you've got your cores, you've got enough bases covered. So now it all depends on you. So we'll make a rental code with this, and then in the next video, we're gonna feature a very unique and interesting Zamazenta squad in our battle video. All right, so until then, peace out, guys.